2023 marks Cadillac's 7th year in prototype racing since retaking the responsibility for GM's efforts in the area over from Corvette with the debut of DPI in 2017. Cadillac came into the season with an experience advantage over the other teams, even IMSA compatriots Acura, simply by virtue of the sheer number of vehicles they provided to the customer teams throughout the DPI era. Entries peaked in 2019, with 6 of the Cadillac DPI V-R entered throughout the season, with rosters featuring luminaries such as Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, Rubens Barrichello, and Fernando Alonso. Even in the twilight season of DPI, no less than 5 vehicles contested the season, matching up against 2 Acura ARX-05s formerly run by Penske, before that organization sold their 2 vehicles to undertake development of the new Porsche 963 LMDh. Originally announced in 2021 and revealed in July of 2022, shortly after the first LMDh to be revealed, the Porsche 963, the new V-Series.R sports the largest engine of the new LMDh class, a whopping 5.5-liter V8 that, according to GM, definitely isn't largely carried over from the old DPI's 5.5-liter V8 power plant. It is also the only naturally aspirated engine amongst the LMDh contenders, with BMW and Porsche's V8s and Acura's V6 all opting for twin turbochargers instead. Cadillac also, similarly to BMW, opted to build their LMDh on Dallara's chassis, and as previously mentioned, there are some, at least in the opinion of this commentator, nominal but distinct visual similarities between the vehicles. Though Cadillac has been a bit tight-lipped about the exact power output of the Cadillac V8 LMC55R engine, apart from confirming that they are using the maximum 670 horsepower allowed between the internal combustion engine and spec Bosch X-Track Williams hybrid system, given that the 5.5-liter naturally aspirated V8 definitely isn't carried over from the previous DPI's engine, it also definitely doesn't make somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 horsepower, depending on restrictor size, that the 5.5-liter naturally aspirated V8 in the DPI produced. Have fun diagramming that sentence. Cadillac was the second manufacturer, after Porsche, to hit the track, with an initial private shakedown at Putnam Park in Indiana, followed by a joint test with Porsche at Sebring in July of last year. Sebring also saw further tests by all 4 LMDh manufacturers across the remainder of 2022, including a 24-hour test by Cadillac, a whopping 36-hour test by Porsche, and shorter sessions by BMW and Acura. Additional testing also occurred at Road Atlanta and Daytona, in both IMSA-sanctioned and private sessions, adding serious development miles and exposing any potential weak areas in the vehicle's construction. Moving from the DPI era, however, there have been some organizational shifts within the Cadillac organization, with more control being centralized within Cadillac Racing itself, in a dramatic change from the greater autonomy that customer teams received previously, with an emphasis on data sharing and collaboration between customers Chip Ganassi Racing and Action Express. This has, according to the chief of Chip Ganassi Racing's operations, taken on outsized importance due to the complexity of the new LMDh vehicles, in particularly learning to work with the new spec Bosch X-Track Williams hybrid package and preparing parallel campaigns for both IMSA and World Endurance Championship. Indeed, all 3 of the current Cadillac V-Series.R cars are entered to race at this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the 2 LMDh manufacturers to enter, alongside an equal number of Porsche 963s to go up against Toyota, Peugeot, Ferrari, and Glickenhaus. Oh, and Van Wall, I keep forgetting them. In the IMSA season thus far, Cadillac has had moderate success, qualifying in the middle of the pack at the 24 Hours of Daytona and finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th in the same order in which they qualified, trailing only the 2 Acuras of the Meyer Shank and Wayne Taylor racing teams. Tire pressure shenanigans notwithstanding. At Sebring, Cadillac found themselves again in the middle of the pack for the WEC 1000 miles race, qualifying in 5th and managing to outlast the 4th qualifying Ferrari to just miss a podium spot behind the ever-dominant Toyotas and the pole-sitting number 50 Ferrari. The 12-hour race, however, proved a different beastie entirely, with Cadillac's number 31 and 01 taking the top 2 spots in qualifying ahead of Acura and Porsche, and the only GTP vehicles to qualify under 1 minute 46, although this was also achieved by Ferrari and Toyota during WEC qualifying on confidential tires. The race itself was frenetic, with the 01 forced to retire after finding itself aflame with 3 hours remaining, and the 31 staying well in the mix until a flurry of safety cars in the final 2 hours bunched the entire remaining GTP field together for a sprint to the finish with less than an hour to go. The number 31 car, piloted by Jack Aitken, remained in 4th place. Then, of course, the incident involving the 2 Porsches and the ARX/06 unguided missile occurred, with about 20 minutes left in the race, which propelled the number 31 car onto the top step of the podium, bringing the Whelen Action Express team and Pippo Durrani their first Sebring win since 2020. This weekend brings the next opportunity to see the Cadillacs in action, with 2 cars entered in the IMSA race at Long Beach and 1 entered in the WEC 6 Hours of Portimao. At this point in the season, it's difficult to say if any manufacturer is truly emerging as a favorite for dominance in IMSA, but Cadillac is likely to be well in the mix for Long Beach, along with their competition from Acura, Porsche, and BMW. For WEC, it remains fairly certain that Toyota will continue to be the competitor to beat, but both Porsche, Cadillac, and occasionally Ferrari have shown that they have strong pace and may have the opportunity, either at Portimao, Spa, or at Le Mans, to challenge Toyota for the first time in several years. And for this video's call to action not containing the 3 sacred words of YouTube,
like, comment, subscribe.
Today, April 14th, is International Moment of Laughter Day, so why not take a few moments to decompress from a busy week and watch, listen to, or do something amusing? I've lately been working through the back catalog of Whose Line Is It Anyway, and there are definitely moments that almost have me in tears with laughter. Have a good evening, everyone.